Screw the countdown. Good morning, everyone. We're already late. I don't know what the heck's going on, but welcome back to the breakfast show. One hell of an intro, I know. Incredible. Anyways, it's Monday. Markets are going to open probably green if the pre-market action does continue the way it looks like right now. We do have a couple of things we need to discuss. There is some PayPal specific news, actually, press release that came out an hour or so ago. Again, apologies for being late. It's not me. I mean, I wanted to introduce myself like Conor McGregor when he was late at the press conference. I'm sorry I'm late, but I just don't get no, but I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But anyways, anyways, we are live. We are live. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening as well. Jose will not be joining us today. Roberto went to Florida, did not find him, but Jose is going to join us tomorrow. So that's good news, right? So that's good news. We're going to get Jose back tomorrow for the stream. So fear not, fear not. An alligator did not get him. So Jose will be back. Will be back tomorrow. Anyways, there was a new member, someone that did become a member of the channel. So thank you for that. For some reason, again, chat didn't work before. Nothing worked. Okay, nothing worked before. I don't even think it was AWS related, or at least that's what the support dude is telling me right now. But it is what it is. Amazon is not down that much despite the AWS outage, right? CrowdStrike last year crashed completely after it crashed. I mean, probably half of the computers, if not more, around the globe. But it also showed how important CrowdStrike is, and I guess AWS being down right now and this affecting a lot of services and companies also shows you how many companies are actually using AWS. And yes, I still think that we're going to see AWS reaccelerate, probably also because of Anthropic. Now, Neil put me in an endless ad. I'm not controlling the ads. YouTube is controlling that. So apologies for that. Now, pre-market, this is how we're looking. Let me pull it up. This is basically it. Pre-market looks fine, right? Looks fine. Apple is up 1.7%. AMD is up almost 2%. Nvidia is flat. Meta is up 0.5%. Palantir is up 1%. Or if we look at the pre-market, for some of the names here on the watch list, we can see that at the top here we have BMNR up almost 5%. Iron is rebounding a little bit here, 4.2%. Micron is up another 3.9%. We've got a big upgrade for Micron. AST is up, Rocket Lab is up, Hood, HIMS, Reddit. We've got Nebus that's up. There was a post about Nebus where there is maybe a new data center that is about to be announced. Sneak peek from one of the co-founders on X. The local continues to do quite well. SoFi is up 2%, where Oscar is up 1%. We've got a PayPal that's up pre-market 0.5%. Of course, we know just because we are green right now, that does not mean that we are going to be green when the market opens. I know, don't bring that energy on a Monday morning or afternoon, but that's just the reality. That's just the reality of it. Now, let's go and have a look at some of the analyst upgrades. I'm now a proud Nebus bag holder. How can you be a Nebus bag holder when the stock is literally at, well, close to all-time highs? You are now maybe a proud Nebus holder. Because bag holder would mean that the stock should maybe, or could maybe be down significantly since you bought, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, let's start off here with a couple of news items. First of all, Korean Air partners with Archer to bring eVTOL's aircraft to Korea. So I guess momentum here for eVTOLs continues, although I'm still quite skeptical. Um, I'm still quite skeptical about how fast we're going to see these things fly or operate. But too late? I don't think you're too late. I don't think you're too late at all. Bitmain announces ETH holdings reaching 3.24 million tokens and total crypto and cash holdings of $13.4 billion. So again, an update from Bitmain. Maybe we can have a look at how many extra ETH they are now holding. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. No, not this. This was last week. 2 point. Okay, we can pull it up. So we've got this announcement on a weekly basis right now. They now own 2.7% of the ETH token supply, passing the halfway point as it moves towards the alchemy of 5%. Let's see where it tells us exactly how many. So they acquired 203,826 ETH tokens over the past week. Okay, so they keep on accumulating. They keep on accumulating more and more ETH along the way. Of course, if the price of ETH goes down, I expect them to accelerate this, just like I am still expecting PayPal to answer, or at least Alex Chris to answer my tweet when I keep reminding them that they should be accelerating the buyback. But I will not stop. I will not stop until they reach, well, until it reaches management. Max domination could bore fans again. I mean, but Max comeback could excite fans quite a lot. And I mean, if he pulls it off, my God, if he pulls it off, that's going to be insane, because now there is a lot of pressure. There is a lot of pressure on the two McLaren drivers. I still expect both of them to make mistakes, because both of them are still, of course, fighting for the title, and Max is just a shark that will just swoop in at any opportunity. But anyways, let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx that. Affirm, huge buy now, pay later. We've got here a huge price target increase, $108. That's almost 60% upside from the price we're at right now. Mizuho Analyst expects AI checkout adoption to lift GMV by about $1 billion, while credit concerns keep valuation temporarily subdued. Price of the stock right now is at $67. They expect it, or their price target is at 108. Significant upgrade here. More Archer news here. Air taxi certification in the UAE set to slip to 2026. Not surprised. Again, I don't know how fast you think you're going to see these flying taxis fly over your head, but yeah, be aware of that. We're not going to talk about Liverpool or Manchester United today. Okay. I'm not going to say anything other than Maguire is the GOAT. Maguire. I'm a big fan of Harry. Big fan of Harry Maguire. Commerce introduces BigCommerce payment powered by PayPal. So this was the PayPal announcement pre-market. Yes, we even a week before earnings, we get some good news from PayPal, although that's not expected to really move the stock right now. So, Commerce introduces BigCommerce payments powered by PayPal. The new embedded payment service will deliver seamless merchant experience, advanced buy now pay later options, and a unified balance dashboard launching for US merchants in 2026. So, a lot of things will accelerate PayPal's business in 2026. The SMB ads platform is also early 2026. So, this strategic expansion builds on more than a decade of close partnership between Commerce and PayPal, marking a new chapter in their collaboration. Through this optimal co branded integration, merchants will gain access to advanced payment capabilities, simplified account management, and buy now pay later via PayPal's later offering, all seamlessly managed within the BigCommerce control panel. Together with commerce, we're not just addressing the needs of today's merchants, we're empowering them to seize the future with confidence and agility. By bringing together PayPal's world renowned reliability, security, and global reach with commerce merchants focused platform, we're helping merchants thrive in the next era of commerce. Wouldn't be surprised if they are also going to be one of the first big ones to use the ads platform for PayPal. But we'll see. We'll see with that. I do expect them to share a bit more during the earnings call. I'll make a specific video about that. There is a SoFi prediction video coming out later today. This is, in my opinion, going to be a monster quarter by SoFi. We're all either extremely optimistic or we are going to be proven wrong. I mean, I've been proving wrong before, but for in a positive way. I was just way too conservative. Right now, with again the expectations of members maybe coming in closer to 1 million for the quarter, it's a huge jump. Again, I don't know if that's going to happen. My number is quite close to it. Revenue should also jump significantly. Guidance is going to be raised significantly as well, because as you will see, it just doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make any sense based on the guidance that we've got from uh, SoFi right now. The numbers just don't add up. I mean, they're too low, is what I'm saying. They are too low. Then, what else do we have here in this fine morning afternoon for all of these stocks? Starbucks, we're not that interested in that. Tempus AI, Canaccord reiterates buy rating with a price target of $110. AI-driven growth and strategic acquisition is the reason for that. The upside here is 25%. We've got one from Intel. Intel is expected to report earnings later this week. So is Netflix, so is Tesla, and a couple of other big companies as well. So KeyBank, sector weight, price target $35. They anticipate better Q3 results and higher Q4 guidance. Again, Q3 results are probably going to be better than the guidance, but it's still not going to be a wow quarter. It's all about, yes, maybe Q4 guidance or maybe already some information about 2026 and maybe some more talks of potential foundry partners, strategic partners, or customers. Did I add any local on Friday? I did not. The only thing I did add on Friday is Nebus and SoFi, as discussed yesterday in the portfolio update. Then, what else do we have here? Riot, no. There was some news, right? I did put the trade war, the trade deal in the title. So there is some news with regards to that. Quite positive, I do think. Quite positive. So we'll touch on that in a bit. But here we've got a Google. Bank of America raises the price target to $280, keeps a buy rating, sees strong ad spend and search momentum ahead of earnings. I also see some strength, or a lot of strength here, in the Google Cloud business. I still think that this is going to be, probably in the next 2 years, a $100 billion business that, for some strange reasons, is still not fully priced in. Reddit is getting a little bit more love right now. Reddit stock has been crushed over the past couple of weeks, as you can see. Reddit is here. Reddit got crushed completely. Stock did find here a little bit of support at around $200 mark. We'll see if that holds. Right now, it is up a little bit in pre-market. General, thank you very much for the super chat. HIMS had an absolute disaster on Friday. Is there just too much short interest? Is it too risky? Robinhood Gold's recommend price target is what? Robinhood Gold's recommended price target is $20. First, I don't know what Robinhood Gold's recommended systems is. $20 is quite low. I don't even think that the average analyst price target is that low. It is very volatile, right? Because remember, Thursday, the stock went up significantly. Or maybe Wednesday, right? You can see this right here. We went from $53 on Wednesday to, or maybe 52, was up 25% to reach $65. And then, of course, we went down 23% 2 days later. Short interest is high. Of course, it did not help that, yes, it was a pre-planned sale of the CEO, but it didn't help that this was done. Again, it's pre-planned, but I think the day before he retweeted a post of someone talking about a short squeeze. And so, yeah, it is very volatile. It is very, very volatile. I don't own it. And $20, I mean, $20 is quite a hit. Is quite a hit. So, but again, I don't know. I don't know what the Robinhood Gold's recommendation system is basing the $20 on. But I do think, and I'm pretty sure that the average analyst price target is higher than $20 at the moment. Have I bought Rubrik? I do hold Rubrik. Yes, a small position, a huge share dilution. Yeah, but don't forget that they went public. What was it, a year ago or something like that? So when you go public, yes, early on you're going to see a bigger impact of stock-based compensation and all of that. But I think this is just a natural cycle of a company that goes or just went public over the last year and a half or so. I like the business quite a lot. And we'll see. Yeah, of course, stock-based compensation as a percent of revenue will hopefully see it come down over the years. Of course, the stock itself, if I can find it, here it is. Stock itself, as you can see here on the daily, we did drop under the 200-day moving average. It seems like we are trying to make our way back above it. We did drop under it back here mid-September, then made our way above it, got a big rejection here at the 100-day one, and we'll see what happens. But again, I like the company. I like the price that I'm paying for it right now. Very good business, good leadership, excellent segment of the cybersecurity space. One that will unfortunately only grow as hackers become smarter, AI systems become smarter. It becomes quite easy. And so you will need companies like Rubrik for sure. Lockdown may resolve by the end of the week. Go Oscar. I mean, for the ACA subsidies. Yeah, I mean, that's pure upside. A lot of people talk about Oscar, but they don't really know that the guidance that Oscar gave us is without the ACA subsidies being extended. You might say, yeah, but the hope that it is going to be extended is why the stock is up. I don't think so. I still think that if we get an official confirmation that it is extended, then we're going to go much, much higher. Much, much higher. Would you prefer getting SoFi pre-market after opening or first after the repost next week? Well, you're asking someone that has a big position in SoFi and that did add on Friday. So that's my answer basically here. Is there a price you consider Sezzle? No, again, I considered Sezzle before, right? I considered Sezzle at $80. It's now at 75, also under the 200-day moving average after the recent pullback. But I considered it before I opened a position in Shift4 and Rubrik. It just happens to be that the other two companies, Rubrik, because it gives me cybersecurity exposure, which I don't have, and Shift4 is a company that I've followed for quite a while, and I know more and better than Sezzle. It's not to say that Sezzle is a bad company. It's just I had to make a choice, and I decided to go with the other two. Have you had the chance, question from Vince, to check out Peter Lynch's most recent interview? He's one of my favorite investors all time. Also, opinion on brokerage companies, interactive brokers, harm margins. I think we did. Yes, I did. I did pull a clip from that interview, I think. The interview with, what's his name? The guy that has a podcast with the other dude that also appears on TV sometimes. Yes. So if we're talking about the same thing, then yes, I did, of course. Watch it because Peter Lynch is also one of my favorite investors of all times. Any opinion on brokerage companies like Interactive? No, I haven't really. I've seen some charts. It looks very good, but I haven't really studied the whole business. I haven't really studied the whole business. They did report last week, right? I do wonder what the stock did last week. So it seems that they double beat earnings and revenue beat. They're now here sitting on that 50-day moving average. Does anyone know that next big stock supposed to change the industry on November? Supposedly partners with NVIDIA. I don't know. November 28th? I don't know. Can you take a look at Okta? Yes, Okta. Someone said that Okta is down, but Okta is not down pre-market. I did cover Okta actually. Not maybe now. Yeah, maybe last month or so. I like it. Again, growth is expected to reaccelerate. It's not a high growth cybersecurity name, but they're also, and again, they're one of the partners of Rubrik, same as CrowdStrike and same as Zscaler, I believe. It's a good company. Yes, stock has pulled back. It's down 30% from the highs here in May. But if you look at the actual revenue, the actual business, the earnings reports and all of that, it looks much better than what the chart might tell you. And also previously, maybe you might have overpaid. How much do you hold in Amazon and what cost basis? My cost basis for Amazon is about 100 and actually, let me see. Don't forget that I own Amazon since 2018, although Amazon stock has underperformed for quite a while. So it doesn't really change much, but I did load up a lot. Same with Meta in 2022. So it is 123 bucks. It's the second largest position in the retirement portfolio. And yes, I did say that I do plan on adding a little bit more of Amazon right now, and same with Mercado Libre. It's basically Meta, Amazon, Mercado Libre, Tesla, Google in that portfolio. Doesn't really change much. I did take a look at Qualys a long time ago. I wonder what they did. I wonder what they've been doing. Last time I checked, company looked decent, right? It's one of those names that you don't really hear a lot, but it looked decent. I haven't followed up on it, so maybe I'll have to take a look at the company a bit closer. Maybe maybe not the coming days, because I do plan on making quite a lot of pre-earnings videos. But yeah, I did look at Qualys a while ago. It's a company worth, for those that don't know, it's a company worth around $4.6 billion, has a trading P of 25 times and a forward one of 20. Again, it's not one that is growing that fast. That's the thing. That's the thing that I remember. It's not one that is growing that quickly. It's small. It's small, but I chose Rubrik for a specific reason. Market cap wise, they're not that big, but they are playing in a huge market and they are growing very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Someone made a post about the fact that if Rubrik went public today, it would have been trading at a huge, huge premium right now. Right, Rubrik is a company worth $15 billion, $15.7 billion, but it's expected to grow, look, revenue 31.9% compounded for the next 2 years. Yes, there's no PE at the moment. I'm fine with that. Eventually, there will be. Focus more also now on free cash flow for these types of businesses. Same with CrowdStrike. So Rubrik went public, a year and a half ago or so. Captain Harris, hello. How are you? How are you today? Logical Talks, thanks for the super chat. Any opinion on selling all iron to buy growth stocks? Well, iron is a growth stock in my eyes. So no, I am not planning on selling all of my iron. I did cut it in half already. I had 1,000 shares. Now I have 500. I had 1,000 shares, and someone in the chat told me, actually, I knew how many shares I had. It just never occurred to me that position became so big, because I started buying iron around $16 and then again 22 or something like that. And then the last chunk was a little bit at $50. But this thing just kept on going up and up and up. And so, yeah, that position in record time was up 200%. And to me, that was like, maybe it did become a bit too big. I still like it. I still have a decent amount of exposure in this whole AI team, right? With AMD, with Nebus, with Iron, with CoreWeave, with Micron. So, and I had the Intel options, of course, as well. So I took the 500 shares off the table, and so I'm happy with that. But I'm not going to sell out of it all, because to me, I still like the story. I still believe it, which is why I own it. So, not planning on selling it anytime soon. Okay. Before continuing with this, let me actually show you the clip, because something did happen, which was very interesting, actually. So, according to Zero Hedge and a couple of other news sources out there, China's top trade negotiator, Li Shenggang, was removed from the post as permanent WTO representative. Why is this important? Well, because last week we've had Scott Bessent say this.
Was a low A, B, and C, therefore we had to do D, and that's not true. There was a lower level trade person who was slightly unhinged here in August. I think his name is Li Guangdong, and threatening, saying that China would unleash chaos on the global system if the U.S. went ahead with our docking fees for Chinese ships. And this is clearly something that they were planning all along. I think that things can de-escalate, that we don't want to have to escalate. We have things that are more powerful than the rare earth export controls that the Chinese want to put on. And so, to be clear, this is China versus the world. It's not a U.S.-China problem. Good news is that this is IMF week. A lot of my counterpart, or all my counterparts, are here. We're going to be speaking with our European allies, with Australia, with Canada, with India, and the Asian democracies. And we're going to have a fulsome group response to this, because bureaucrats in China cannot manage the supply chain or the manufacturing process for the rest of the world.
So this happened last week. He mentioned that specific person, and apparently today that specific person was removed from his post as permanent WTO representative. What's also interesting is that Scott Bessent is going to meet with another Chinese representative pretty soon. President Trump is going to meet with Xi Jinping in South Korea next week, I believe. And so a trade deal might be closer than what the market is anticipating. Again, a trade deal might also not happen, but things do seem to be de-escalating a little bit, especially from the, let's say, peak fears that we've had a week or so ago. So it's good news. It's always good news when you get a bit more clarity, and especially if there is going to be, which again, it seems like there is going to be a meeting between Trump and Xi. That's always good, right? Because you don't want to have, well, people under President Trump start saying things and then people under Xi Jinping say other things publicly. You do always want to have the leaders talk with each other and see exactly what the temperature is. After that, I do think we're going to have maybe a bit more clarity. It's either a lot more clarity or there is no deal, and then we'll see how the markets will react. So we'll see, but the fears that we've seen over the last couple of weeks can disappear quite rapidly. What also disappeared quite rapidly is this stupid barometer that went from greed to extreme fear in record time, and then we exited extreme fear in like one day, went into the fear bracket, and now I think we're going to chill maybe in the fear bracket, although who knows, maybe in the next 2 days, if the markets are up 0.1%, we are going to be back in greed mode. I don't know, this fear greed index to me just doesn't make a lot of sense. That's for sure. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Precious metals are spiking again, apparently. We have, let's see, maybe a little bit more information on this whole trade deal. Let's see. Seems like no, we do not get a little bit more information, unfortunately. Maybe the chat is giving us a bit more information. Some are saying he is being promoted to a higher position. Is he being promoted to a higher position, or is he being pushed aside a little bit? Maybe some painting lessons, the famous painting lessons. What do I think about Amkor Technologies? I don't know. I've not checked it. Everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. Yes, Mike Tyson. That's very true. It's not nice to laugh about it, but yeah, it's a good quote. That's a good quote. Let's see. Amkor. Who knows about Amkor? Amkor Technology. That has rebounded quite well. Has doubled since the April lows. That's for sure. Has doubled since the April lows. We do have some time until the market opens. Yeah, it's the yin and yang thing, which again seems to be working. It's like good cop, bad cop type of thing. But again, essentially what you like to see is two leaders meet, talk, and then figure things out. Having every time a disconnect, like the broken phone thing. It's like I start to tell you a story and then it passes 20 people until it reaches the other guy, and the other guy hears a completely different story to what I actually said. It's always good to have meetings face to face with maybe a translator. Although I'd be surprised if he doesn't speak English. Maybe he doesn't want to speak English. That's another story. But okay, Amkor. Amkor provides outsourced semiconductor packaging and test services in the United States. Okay, $7.3 billion in market cap, trading P24, forward 23.2. You see, margin-wise, it's not amazing. Margin-wise, it's not amazing, and growth-wise, it's not good at all. Well, it's not to my liking, basically. Not to my liking. Had someone pay for a SB plan in SA with SoFi for the first time? SA South America or something else? Nick, let us know. Let us know. Yeah, maybe leave the Amkor question to Jose for tomorrow, because I don't know much about Amkor. Apologies, apologies for that. I'm from West Texas and work in the sector. It's going nuts, but it's such a small market cap that I have a strong thesis they will recover to 10. Who are we talking about here? Or are we talking about Amkor still? um, NVIDIA and TSMC announced new wafer tech chip packaging. Yeah, they did the first Blackwell out of the United States. That was pretty big news. Pretty good news. South Africa. South Africa? That's interesting. That is interesting. I didn't know. I've seen the Mexico payments, but I didn't know South Africa was also an option. Interesting. Thank you for that. A bit late to the party. You're never late to the party. I was late to this party, but that wasn't my fault today. But any views on PayPal's earnings, I will make a specific video on that. Should be out tomorrow. But in short, I am very positive on the earnings and especially the guidance, because I do think that that's my guess and hope, is that the messaging should be a lot more aggressive from PayPal's management. Enough with being super conservative, actually put targets that, yes, you're going to beat, but at least those are a bit more aggressive targets. And the message should be quite clear. Growth is accelerating. This, and that is the reason for it. And hopefully, yes, hopefully they do accelerate the buybacks, because, again, the shares, in my opinion, are just dirt cheap, and it would send a huge message to the market if they do suddenly announce an acceleration of the buybacks. Same thing that Uber has done at the start of the year. And yes, I would agree with some that say that, yeah, maybe Alex Chris should also do an open buy and buy some shares on the market again. Because if he thinks that stock is cheap, company is undervalued, then again, that sends a positive message. Roberto, I think the thought on Amkor is that now that TSMC Arizona is operational, it may get some of that revenue. Interesting. Yeah, and I guess it's not the only one, right? You have TSMC, you have Intel, you probably also have Samsung. Although last time we checked that, there were some delays, so wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. What's my opinion on S&P Global? I touched on it actually last week. On the three stocks video. Touch on that one, on Webull and Fiserv as well. I do think S&P Global is like super high margin business, very, very stable, and it seems cheap. It seems cheap, especially after the pullback right now. It's not like a super high growth stock, but it is a very solid compounder, I would say. Very solid compounder. This is a good question. If I would add the next stock to my retirement portfolio, which one would it be? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know. I mean, eventually, SoFi is definitely going to enter that for sure. But if I had to pick another company that I do not own and would put it into that portfolio, not really touch it, that's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe, yeah, maybe it might be one of those big financial names like an S&P Global, a Moody's, or a FICO, or something like that. Maybe, yeah. Again, you know me, I like financials. I like fintech. How much have they printed from their stablecoin last week? Well, zero, because it got burned right after. It got burned right after. How do I think Mercado Libre will do in the earnings report? I think just like with all the other quarters, I think they'll do well. I think they'll do well. Don't forget that for a lot of the companies that do business outside of the United States and then report in dollars, a weak dollar helps, right? A weak dollar is a big tailwind for these companies. It was a headwind before, but yes, since the start of the year, the weak dollar helps with the quarterly reports, basically, because, well, if you're doing business outside the United States and then you report in dollars, the weak dollar that does help. So even an Amazon, not even an Amazon benefits from that for sure. A lot of the other big companies also benefit from a weak dollar. So don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that. Yeah, again, the $300 trillion, that was I don't know how you can make such a mistake, but it's it got burned like instantly afterwards. Never done options on Melly. I don't know. I don't have options on Melly. I mean, can you imagine how much money you have to put down to own options on Melly when one share costs $2,000? Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Should I add ASML? Yeah, but no. If I had to pick a semiconductor, yeah, maybe it would have been AMD more than an ASML. Although picking up ASML earlier this year would have maybe made a lot more sense, right? Even maybe not the bottom, but $600, $700, yeah, maybe, but probably not. Synax. I don't know how you pronounce this, but thank you for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate that. What are my thoughts on Pagaya going into the earnings? Are you looking at upstarts to have a better idea after the big banks are posting beats? If upstarts reports before Pagaya, then of course I'll be looking at that. SoFi reports next week, so I guess we'll be looking. I mean, not I guess we'll be looking at that as well. But yeah, I hold Pagaya options for January. $30 strike price and $40 strike price, which, yes, means I am playing here the options, the earnings report gamble on that name specifically. I made a video about it. I'm very bullish on the name. The stock got beaten down a bit too much, in my opinion, and they've proven time and time again that they are doing exactly what they should be doing without adding the extreme risk. But yeah, we'll be following the other companies, of course. Why is Tesla in my retirement portfolio? Because I bought Tesla in 2019. So since 2019, Tesla has gone up significantly, and so it sits there chilling, right? The retirement portfolio is something I've built along the years. Again, Amazon 2018, Tesla August 2019, Meta bought a bit before, but really increased it significantly 2022. Mercado Libre also 2020 started. So it's positions that I've held and grow, and it grew naturally, and I'm just keeping it there, not touching it, because why should I? I shouldn't touch it. So I'm just leaving. I'm leaving it there. What in your portfolio is underpriced or overvalued? Now, again, overvalued and overbought are two different things, right? Overvalued and overbought are two different things. You can be overbought and still be undervalued. You can be overvalued and be oversold as well. Now, what to basically your question is, what am I going to add to and what am I not going to add to? I'm still going to add to Oscar, to Shift 4, to Rubric, to the local as well. I see some questions about the local. So I'm going to add to those names. AMD has had a decent run up, but I'm waiting for the earnings report to get a bit more information on that one. And yeah, all the rest. Google, I don't think it's expensive either. But again, I've got some other priorities since I did add quite a lot of Google under $150, $160. But yes, some names are maybe overextended, but I wouldn't call them overvalued just yet. Although on some pricing metrics, you might say yes, but then again, look at Nebus. If you look at the trailing 12 months revenue, it doesn't make much sense because there is going to be a huge difference with what is going to happen in the next 12 months and what has happened over the past 12 months. Micron, again, I did take some profits because it did go up significantly. It did what it should. It became a big position. Same with Alibaba, but I don't view them as overvalued, for example. I'm not also not going to add more right now to a Micron or a Baba, but I will keep them, of course. I will keep them. So to answer, it's Oscar, Shift 4, Rubric, D-Local are probably the names that pop up in my head right now. Much love from Germany. Dankeschön, Julius. Appreciate that. Will the US inclusion help? Again, they applied for a banking license for the US. The majority of the attention and the business is still going to be outside the US. Will the US inclusion help? It's not going to hurt, that's for sure. It's not going to hurt. But just because they're going to the US does not mean that suddenly it's going to be a huge success. Although, if you look at the other markets that they've entered, yeah, you might say it's completely different because it's Latin America, it's not the United States. But if they do go after, let's say, the American Hispanic population, then yeah, maybe it might be successful. But I don't think it should be like a top mind in your investment thesis. But your average is 10.5, so should be happy. Will the traders ever get to 90? Probably yes, but I don't think it should get to 90 anytime soon, right? This was expensive stock right here, went up extremely quickly. Right now, it's sometimes it's very interesting that these charts really work extremely well. You can clearly see that it is trying to go and break that 50-day moving average, but it cannot. It just goes down and down and down as that line goes down as well. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's a good company. Just with this one, you really don't want to overpay. You really don't want to overpay. Do you think it is more likely that PayPal, SoFi, or do I think it's likely? Yes, but then again, we've had we've had times where SoFi triple beats and the stock went down. So you don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but I am expecting good quarters from all three. Question is sentiment going to change around? Well, United Healthcare, we've seen the stock rebound, right? A little bit at least from the lows. PayPal is really the one where I need the sentiment to change a little bit, or for the company to basically accelerate buybacks. Because I'm okay with the stock price being cheap, although I do have options that, of course, I would love them to go up. But if the stock price remains super low and it is undervalued, then I would like the company to do its job and acquire a lot more shares. D-Local, yeah. I'll continue to accumulate more D-Local because I agree with you. Do I think Nebus is overbought? I don't think so. I mean, on the chart, on the technical, it's not overbought anymore because of the recent little pullback. You might say, yeah, but look, it went up significantly. Yeah, but we also had a $17.4 billion deal from Microsoft that suddenly popped out of nowhere. So it does change the thesis a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. But I do expect another big announcement from Nebus. I don't know if it's going to be another hyperscaler or something, but maybe another AI lab. Could be XAI. That would be huge. We'll see, because I mean, we know that another deal is coming. After the Microsoft one, they basically told us this is not going to be the last one. With that, we have 40 seconds until the market opens. So I am going to get ready to do the open without my bell. What am I going to do in December? Well, nothing, because the taxes start in January. So you're not paying on what you made before, you're paying on what's going to happen afterwards. It sucks, but at least it's only, let's say, 10%. But yeah, it sucks. And yeah, I speak. And so, couple of seconds left. We are going to open the market, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, 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 ding. Bing, bong, 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 bong. Bing, bing, bong. The markets are open. We are Monday, what is it? October 20. Markets are open. Heat map will update in the next couple of seconds, as always. But we've got, of course, our watch list right here, which is already moving upside down, left, right, center. You name it. We're going to let it do its thing for the next couple of seconds, and then we're going to see who actually stayed green and who cannot stay green. Hopefully, you know who is staying green, and we'll see. What's the new Belgium tax? So previously we did not get taxed on capital gains unless you are a trader, and that's your thing. But we did not have capital gains tax. Starting 26, we are going to get hit by a 10% tax on capital gains, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to end here. I think it's just the start, because they mismanaged the budget for many years and they need to take money from someone. So they are going after people that invest. And as with many other countries, they are going to go after people that make a lot of money as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see the same thing happen here as what we've seen happen in the UK. Millionaires fleeing the country in record numbers. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, don't forget that capital gains tax means that you actually made money. So yes, you're going to be making a little bit less money because of the tax, but you actually made money. But in the United States, at least you can do the tax loss harvesting, maybe in some other countries as well. But from my understanding, that's not going to happen here in Belgium, or at least not right now. So if they would have said, 10%, but yeah, if you have losses, then that can offset your gains, but that's not the case. That's not my understanding. 10% is still fine. Yes, 10% is still fine, but don't forget that we also pay almost 50% income tax, of course, depending on your bracket. But yeah, come to Dubai. Actually, I did talk with someone this weekend, and he's moving to Dubai for these reasons exactly. Yeah, and dividends get taxed quite a lot here, like 33% or so. But you can, because there might be a chance of double tax on dividends, so there is a way to apply to get some of it back, but it's a whole I'm telling you, politicians should replace them with AI. They'll probably do a much better job. Anyways, I don't know how we reached this topic right now, but let's have a quick look at some of the names here. at some of the names. So BMNR is still up 4% at the moment. Rocket Lab, this thing, man, this thing is insane. This thing is insane. Almost again at $70, that's up 4%. Reddit is up 4% as well, so back above $200. Micron is up 3.6% on a big price target upgrade from, I believe it was Goldman Sachs, $245, if I remember correctly. Robinhood is up 3%, AST is up 2.7%, Intel is up 3%. Again, Intel reports later this week, so that's going to be an interesting one. I'll probably cover that. HIMS is up 2.8, Nebus is up 1.8, SoFi 2.3, so we're back here in this $27. Zeta is up 2.6, Rubrik 2%. Let's see. We're now above the 200-day moving average, but let's see if we can go back to that $80. Iron up 1.4, so a bit less than pre-market, but fine. We're not going to complain there. AMD is up 1.7, Shift 4 1.2. This one is well under the uptrend line, so we should try and go back to $77 to be above it. Oscar is up 1.7, floating around $19 or so. Uber really hates $100. But yeah, Uber is up 1.2, dLocal 0.7.8. PayPal is back into $68, up 1%. This is crazy. We were here at $77. It basically crashed 15%. Now it's down 11% from the recent high where it broke out of the downtrend line. What type of jump do we need to see? 13% jump from the price we're at today to go back to the levels before the market took a little breather. It could happen. It could happen, right? Until the earnings report, stock can make its way back to $70 or so, and then on the day of the earnings, we'll see what the implied volatility is going to be. Hopefully, it's a good one. The good one on the way up, because on the way down, I don't want to see it on the way down. United Health still $360. Google is up 1.1%. New holdings 1.5%. So a nice rebound here on that 50-day moving average for new holdings. Applied Digital up 1%. Amazon, despite the AWS issues, is also up 0.6%. Duolingo is back here testing the 50-day moving average. That's down 2.6%. Palantir is basically flat. Nvidia flat. Marvell flat. And CoreWeave down 1.2%. 1.2%. Justin, morning from Dominican. Where are you? Punta Cana or what is the other one? Santo Domingo, I think. Palo Alto. Where is Palo Alto right now? 210. Okay. Chilling there, I guess. Chilling there right now. SMCI, yeah, I agree. Again, it looks cheap from a price to sales perspective and all of that, but way too many questions. Way too many questions and way too many issues either. So like inside the company, they even admit that the issues that were flagged a year ago were not resolved. Chime. Oh yeah, we have to go over the Punta Cana. Nice. Enjoy. Chime is a very interesting one because that thing went public, as you can see earlier this year. It's down significantly, 60% from the highs of the first day. Keeps going down, is oversold. It's a good company. I don't own it, but it is very interesting. Again, it's probably one of those companies where the upcoming earnings report is probably going to be a good one. Sentiment around it might change. CRM, Salesforce up another close to 2% or so, still $247. Adobe is up 0.7%. Seems like 300. Yeah, again, same type of bottom prices right now for that. Sezzle Cesar still here, up 1.3%, still around $75 or so. Dave is also $213 right now. We've got Figma. Figma is up 1%, but we are coming down a tiny bit from, well, it did go up from 50 to 70 bucks in just a week or so. So that was not bad. Klarna, probably, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So Klarna, we're back to the bottom of, at the end of September, $35. So that could be maybe an interesting name to look at more closely. Klarna. We'll see. What happened with ELF? Now we don't have an ISA equivalent in Belgium. Oh well, at least I don't think so. No. Or the IRA, Roth IRA, yeah, from the United States. No. Joseph, good morning. Good morning. So ELF, why is ELF down? Let's try and find out. I'm still surprised. It's still at 127 bucks. I remember it at 60 something after it crashed. But let's see ELF, if I can find a reason. So far, no. Not finding any reason why ELF is down 6% right now, and it's not like they're reporting earnings. No, they're not reporting earnings. Still maybe a tariff story, but I didn't see anything tariff related today, so I don't know. Yeah, more sellers than buyers. It's like, why is gold up? More buyers than sellers. It's always a good. It's always a good answer. It's always a good answer. What is the issue with Oracle? I don't know. What's the issue? It's down 3%, but it's still up significantly from the earnings report announcement. And maybe it's going to go back here to the 50-day moving average, a little breather. I've shown you yesterday the fiscal year 2030 expectations for Oracle. Look, if they achieve it, it's cheap today. If they don't, then they don't. But 210 billion dollars in revenue by 2030 is significant. Is significant, but again, a lot of it, like the $500 billion in RPO, is a big number, but it's not contracted revenue or anything. It's a big number, and the only way that the market will feel comfortable pushing this name up and up and up is by actually seeing more and more contracts. Right now, it's a lot of, okay, OpenAI this, AMD that, although AMD is more chips related, but OpenAI, Oracle, Stargate. At one point, the market and investors would like to actually see things happen. Right now, the pullback is just a pullback of a stock that has gone up significantly, yes, based on a lot of huge numbers. But like I said, these numbers are not set in stone. They can increase, but they can also decrease. So thoughts on the Clean Spark news? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. We've talked a little bit about it. Not yesterday, last week, when I said I wanted to maybe discuss it a little bit further. But I'm not surprised with the news. Everybody's making that pivot. Stock was up actually more, 10% pre-market. Now we're up 5.8% right now. Nebus is down. Nebus is not down. It's still up 0.4%. Still up 0.4%. CoreReef is down 1% right now. PayPal, thankfully, is up another 1.3%, but we're not going to jinx that thing anymore. Oscar is a very, very volatile stock. Recently, it's like up 3%, down 5%, up 8%, down 8%. But yeah, Oscar probably we're still waiting to hear more about the ACA subsidies being extended or not. We'll see. And then start of November, we are going to get the earnings report. To me, as long as the 2027 guidance doesn't change, I think we're good. Would you sell your rubric to buy Nebus if you run out of cash? No, I would not. The one in line to take profits to sell a little bit again is the Duolingo position. That's a bit too big to my liking. But no, I have cash. I have cash in the portfolio and I have cash in the options. From the Intel options one, I still have a lot, thankfully. But no, I'm not planning on selling rubric today. And thankfully, if I need more cash, I can always put more cash in the portfolio if needed. If we have like a April scenario, I don't think we're going to have it, but if need be, then like I said, I think this should be a t-shirt. Time and cash is all I need. Thankfully, we've got time and we've got cash for now. For now, we've got cash. Yes, thank you, Justin. Please hit the like button. Really appreciate that. What is Bull doing today? Okay, so Bull is still at $11. Bull is Weeble, for those that don't know. What is Fiserv doing? 120. Oh, okay, maybe 100. Maybe this might be a bottom. These two candles right here. Fiserv is also, I covered it last week with Weeble and S&P Global. It's one of those companies that it's just waiting to report its quarterly figures to show the market we are trading at dirt cheap valuations. Give us a little bit more respect. They're going to report the day after SoFi and PayPal. So Wednesday, October 29th. So Fiserv, I do think, is going to see a bit more love next week. How much profit did I make? Well, on the first, because I sold in two times. The second time was the big one. Was since it went from the first buy to the last one, that was up 520%. So a nice amount. Let's call it that. A nice amount. Thankfully, I appreciate the investing gods blessing me with a nice option win, which hilariously was my first option I ever bought, and that's the Intel one. Marco, how are you? Question: Nebus Core with Iron. Which one of them buy today? Supposing you should choose just one. Supposing I should just choose just one, I will choose the one that I bought recently more, and that's Nebus. Easy answer to the question. Klarna is monthly full latest recommendation. Yeah, I've seen that actually last week. I didn't actually read the reason behind it right now, but I'm not surprised. Again, it's a new IPO, Fintech, buy now, pay later, pretty big player in the buy now, pay later sphere. Stock is now back to the bottom that we've seen, $35. So we'll see. Yeah, the luck, it's exactly what I said. It's like, it's the worst thing that can happen, right? It's like the casino when you go and you play your first hand and you win. It's the worst thing that can happen because you think that you will continue to win and then you lose what you won and probably more. And so, yeah, I know very well that options are very, very volatile. Some of my options, the Pagaya one, for example, is a bit more risky because I'm only giving them 1 quarter, right? The January one. But for PayPal, I'm giving them a minimum of 2 quarters, some 3, and then I also have the 2027 one. So I'm giving them basically over a year. So I am still new with the options, which is why I'm not doing like next week options or anything like that. I'm giving them time. Pagaya is up 6% today. That is nice. because I am down on those options for January right now. So being up 6.4%, the stock is probably going to help the hit a bit right now. Selling puts is something that I'm looking at as well for some of the names that I would like to maybe accumulate more and more. Of course, now that it's earnings season, it's a bit easier with the timing because you probably want to pick just after the earnings report. If it hits, great. If it doesn't, then you collect your premium and move on to better things. But I do wonder, to those that do trade or invest with options, when you sell puts and you're not, let's say, nearing earnings season, how do you know what date to choose? Because with call options, it's an easier choice to make, right? But with selling puts, how do you know which date, and I guess strike price, you choose which one you want, but the date, how do you choose? When there is an earnings season, fine, I understand. When there is a specific event, okay, I understand. You maybe want to pick the date right afterwards. But what if there isn't? Like, what if we are now 2 months ahead? You want to sell puts on SoFi. What date are you choosing? And the reasoning behind it. Would really appreciate some education on that front. You choose the price, not the date. You don't, but don't you buy, like, for example, who said here, SoFi puts here? He sold a SoFi November 7, $25 put. So he chose November 7, I assume. Or am I crazy here? Because I assume you always have to choose a certain date. 30 to 45 days out with options is best premium. Okay. I sell weekly puts and never sell them during earnings week. Okay, but you see, this is already weekly puts. That's too advanced for me right now. Price you're comfortable owning the company. One earnings call is not going to change your whole perspective in the company if you have conviction. No, correct. But one earnings report can push the stock down if the market doesn't like what it's hearing, and you would then jump in to buy the shares for cheaper if it works out. If it doesn't, then it doesn't, of course. But yeah, the reasoning behind selling puts is because you want to own more shares of that certain company, but you don't want to pay the price that it's trading at today. So 4 to 6 weeks, 30 to 45 days. Here we have 6 months. Okay. the reasoning is you put a I keep it short term, 4 to 6. Yeah, okay, so it seems like 4 to 6 weeks, 30 to 45 days seems like the without catalyst risk. Okay, near term catalyst avoid. Okay, seems like everyone's answering about the same time frame. So I guess that's what I should be looking. That's what I should be looking for. Well, okay, I appreciate the answer and education. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's what I like about these live streams. We can have discussions. I can learn something. You can learn something. And now Nebus is down. Now Nebus is down. Look, I would love it. I would love it if it revisits 100 or even less. Will it happen? I don't know, but I'd love it. I would definitely add more under 100 for sure. For sure. Aim for third week of each month. That is where liquidity concentrates. Uh-huh. I have to maybe write this thing down. Actually, I can look at chat later afterwards. Okay, interesting. Interesting stuff. How can we know what the margin will look like for CoreWeave and Nebus? I guess the earnings report. Nebus is supposed to report. Well, this is an estimated date, Thursday, October 30. Hopefully, it's not that one because I'll be on the plane. Maybe start of November, because they already show us. I mean, it's adjusted EBITDA margin and all of that, but they already talk a little bit about it. How can we know what the margins will be like for the Microsoft deal? That's another question. Your app is late. I mean, complain to TradingView. This is not my app. Julian is asking the real question: is cash secured puts or covered call? Which one is better? Chat, educate us. The current margins, I don't think, are a good prediction after the growth. The current margins are quite good right now. The question is, of course, now you're going to try and grow a lot more, so maybe you might take a margin hit. I think that's a likely scenario. Again, the huge contract with Microsoft remains to be seen, the details of that deal. But afterwards, for this business, because Nebus is, again, a bit different, right? They own some other businesses out there. They've got a software stack. So what would the overall margin profile of this business be? Good question. I mean, it definitely has potential for very high margin business because of the added layer, the added services application layer, whatever you want to call it. So covered calls are much easier. Covered calls, TradingView tends to be a few seconds behind. I mean, I can live with a few seconds behind. Cash secure puts any day. The very reason you are buying the stock is because of upside. You don't want that capped and get yourself in a massive headache to manage that trade for pennies. Am I still buying PayPal? No, I have my options play and I still have my shares. Enough exposure, enough PayPal exposure. If I continue to add more and more, I'll have enough to become a maybe board of director of that company at one point, with the amount of shares that they're also retiring every single quarter. So no, I am not. I'm not buying more PayPal today. I have enough. I mean, my options play, if one of them hits, especially the more shorter term ones, might just convert them into shares. But today I'm not adding. More. So I think we'll leave it at that. Things are looking quite good for now. We cannot complain. We will be back, of course, tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow we will have, well, he told me he's coming back tomorrow. I should have voting rights. I agree. I should have voting rights for PayPal. For the amount of pain and work that I've put in, I think I should have a say. Maybe even an invitation if there ever is an investor day or something like that, where they are going to shock the world. I think I will be shocked if this thing moves up, but okay. Anyways, thank you all for joining. Thank you for the answers on the options strategies. Appreciate that. We will be back tomorrow. Like I said, later today there is a SoFi earnings prediction video coming out. Spoiler alert, guidance will be raised and we're going to see a double beat. That's my prediction. Blake, what's up? Unfortunately, you're joining us when I'm about to sign off, but tomorrow we're back 8 a.m., 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Eastern with Jose. The question is, do we need him to come and crash Oscar or not? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see tomorrow. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. Apologies also for the late start, but wasn't my fault this time. Wasn't my fault. Thank you all for joining. See you all tomorrow or in the next video. Hopefully you all have a wonderful start